Hello, I am Scary Sis.
And I am Scary Bro.
And we are
the Scary Sis.
Hello, mortals, and welcome to Scary Sis.
Do you enjoy movies that make you think, that challenge your perception of reality with twists and turns, and sometimes multiple rewatches to piece together exactly what happened? Well, so do we, and that's why today we're going to talk about psychological films.
Psychological thrillers and horror tend to go hand in hand, as sometimes the very notion of having reality questioned can be scary. And while many so-called psychological horror films are more of a thriller, they can still offer up plenty of creepy moments.
From serial killers that get in your head, to supernatural beings that literally alter reality, to protagonists that are truly mad, psychological horror offers up a lot of good scares to keep your heart rate up and your mind busy. So let's talk about the top 10... Excuse me, my throat's been really dry today.
Well, you know, it is allergy season, brother. And the mold spores do a number on your throat.
That's better. Thank you, sis. Now, anyway, where was I? Yes. Let's discuss the top 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on? Where am I?
You're a therapist office, normal bro. This is our 5th session together, and yet every time I pull you out of your hypnosis, you seem to forget everything.
Strange. I felt like I was actually there, about to do another movie review with my pain-in-the-ass sister.
Yes, your sister, normal sis, whom you fed to the Loch Ness Monster, if I'm not mistaken, and attempted to feed yourself to it. Luckily, Nessie hates the taste of loser and spat you back out. And now, you try to deny the murder occurred by pretending you both died and are living together as ghosts.
What? No, that can't be right. If I was going to feed my sister to a cryptid, it would have been Mothman.
Normal, bro. I'd try to take this a little more seriously. If the state isn't convinced, it's...
What?
Lobotomy.
Oh, right. Funny, it all seems so real. The monsters in that crypt, the months spent reviewing movies, dealing with all those idiot guests, delving into hell to save Happy Cuz, Krampus smacking me with sticks every Christmas. In fact, I'm envisioning our next review right now.
Brother, I need you to stay with me. Stay with me. Don't go back to that place. Don't go.
And now, without further ado, here are the top 10 psychological horror movies.
You good there? You kind of zoned out on me for a little bit.
Yes, why do you ask? Number 10, Session 9. A team of asbestos cleanup workers are hired to clean up an old abandoned mental asylum ahead of its reopening as a city municipal building. Their leader, Gordon, immediately begins hearing strange voices as he sets foot in the halls of the building. Meanwhile, another worker finds a series of tapes highlighting a therapy session with a past patient named Mary, who claims that another personality named Simon murdered her family. As increasingly weird things begin to happen, including the disappearance of a fellow employee, it appears the voices of the past may not be buried, and Simon may still have a few tricks up his sleeve.
So, positives first. I really enjoyed the story and the characters were well developed. I liked listening to the tapes and hearing Mary's story. The setting was eerie and the deteriorating mental state of the characters was slow and purposeful. Now the negatives. The ending was not great. I love a good twist, but this one was not executed well. There were just too many unanswered questions and plot holes by the end, leaving viewers with more questions than answers.
This was a film brimming with atmosphere, likable characters, and a decent setup that, in our opinion, was derailed by a sloppy and somewhat confusing third act, and not to mention unsatisfying and vague answers to the film's big mysteries. Had it undergone perhaps one more rewrite, this could have been ranked much higher. As is, it's a mixed bag of a film that we still recommend, but can't place any higher than top 10.
Number 9, Coherence. This science fiction film focuses on a group of friends having a dinner party on the night that a comet is passing by. Once the comet passes, weird things start to happen, and they soon realize that the comet created a rip in the multiverse, and there are alternate versions of themselves running around outside. The groups must try to decipher who is from their timeline, who they can trust, and how to move forward before the night is over.
This was a smartly done film that, while not particularly scary per se, was an entertaining watch. I like sci-fi movies that make you think, and this one definitely did with its questions of what would you do if you met an alternate version of yourself, and what if one of them turns out to be the version of you that made all of the evil choices that you didn't? These questions, mixed with the uncertainty of who's who in the group, leads to a lot of mistrust and paranoia among the characters that adds to the suspense. If I had to pick a negative, it's that, without giving too much away, one of the characters near the end has a sudden, out-of-nowhere personality flip that governs the film's ending, and I just wish we had a little bit more build-up to that.
Overall, a good watch that just needed to be fleshed out more. I almost feel like this idea could have worked better as a mini-series so that it wouldn't have seemed so rushed, as this is a premise that definitely needs time to cook.
Number 8, The Babadook. After the death of her husband, a woman named Amelia struggles to care for her misbehaving son, Samuel. One night, the pair finds a mysterious book in Samuel's bedroom talking about a frightening entity known as the Babadook. Samuel fixates on the book and becomes afraid of the Babadook, while Amelia brushes it off as just a story and gets increasingly frustrated with her son bringing it up. However, that book didn't come from nowhere, and Amelia may soon have to face the fact that some stories are all too real.
This movie is psychological because there is no proof that the Babadook is actually real, and we know that both Amelia and Sam suffer from a multitude of mental health issues and trauma. It is left up to viewers whether the Babadook is real or a metaphor for something like grief. Personally, the end fell a bit short for me, and there weren't enough scares, but still it was a terrifying premise and felt relatable in a way as many parents have unresolved trauma and aren't always able to release it in a healthy way.
This is a film that, depending on your interpretation, is either a gripping supernatural horror or a poignant drama about family grief, or both. Now, granted, the son is incredibly annoying in the first half, which can make him really grate on you, and like Sister said, I wish it had a stronger ending, but this is still one to check out if you want a really creepy bedtime story.
Number 7, The Shining. This horror classic follows Jack Torrance, his wife Wendy, and his son Danny as they travel to the Overlook Hotel. Jack has taken a job working as a caretaker at this hotel while it is closed during the harsh winter. As time goes on, the family discovers that cabin fever and loneliness aren't the only things to fear, as sinister supernatural forces seem to be at play at the Overlook and threaten to drive Jack over the edge.
Okay, so it's The Shining. If you're watching this video, you probably know The Shining. I mean, it's a classic. The music, the creepy atmosphere, the iconic and terrifying performance by Jack Nicholson, it's one of our favorites. So, what's left to be said about this movie that hasn't already? Well, how about for starters, it isn't perfect? And on rewatch, some of these so-called scary scenes are kinda goofy. Like when Jack was quoting the big bad wolf as he chops down the bathroom door.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
Or the guy in the bear suit, or Jack howling like a gorilla when he's chasing Danny through the maze. Some of that actually made me chuckle a little, which is not the intended tone. Also, without spoiling it, the very end of the film was extremely confusing. What did the picture on the wall mean exactly? Maybe that's the point, but hey, I'm a simple ghost who likes at least a few breadcrumbs to follow.
I used to think that this was a nearly perfect film, but I have watched a lot of horror, and my opinion on that matter has shifted a bit. But this will always be a movie I enjoy, and one that I think is excellently encompasses a good psychological horror.
Number 6, Split. A teenage girl named Casey and her friends are abducted and imprisoned by a strange man. While the situation is already scary enough, what makes it worse is the fact that every time the girls see the man, he's dressed and acting differently. They soon piece together that he has dissociative identity disorder, and his various alters are fighting over what to do with the girls. Two of his alters, Dennis and Miss Patricia, keep referencing a newly formed personality named the Beast, a feral, monstrous form that wants to eat them. Now the girls have to try to find a way to escape before this beast manifests.
This movie dives into the psyche of the main villain in interesting ways and truly captivates the viewers. James McAvoy does an amazing job playing so many personalities wrapped up into one character. We honestly feel a little bit bad for Kevin and root for him a bit to overcome his darker alters. Anya Taylor-Joy also gives a heartfelt performance as Casey, and the amazing acting and plot make this a truly great film.
Yes, this is quite an excellent film. Granted, not the best representation for people with DID, and it's a bit disappointing knowing how things with the characters are resolved in the subpar glass. But, taken with its flaws, this is a movie filled with character, mystery, and an actor with a hell of a lot of range. Oh, there it goes again. Seriously, what is with these damn mold spores?
Here, brother, why don't you take another drink?
Thanks. Anyways, are you ready to get back to the list?
No, normal bro. I'm ready to get back to reality.
What? I'm here again?
Normal bro, you never left. And you still refuse to talk about your sister's death.
Her and I are both dead. I didn't feed her to the Loch Ness Monster. In fact, no one knows how we died. It's kind of a running gag of the show.
Have you ever thought about how all of these characters and guests look a lot like you and your sister? How do you explain that? Is that just a gag as well?
I mean... How's he doing, Doc?
Oh, not good, Administrator Texas Tom. I'm afraid he still can't face reality.
Well, he better get it together soon, or else it's,
Yes, I know. I explained that to him.
Just, don't use the, Texas Tom's, discount lobotomy tools. Them, things have a habit of, snapping.
During the procedure?
During taking them out of the box.
How are you still in business?
Scary Sis, Crypt, movie reviews, psychological horror, number 5. Number 5.
Oh, did you say something?
Yes, it's your turn to do number 5 on the list.
Ah, yes. Number 5, The Sixth Sense. This movie follows psychologist Martin Crowe, who had a bad encounter with a former patient who shot him after the patient accuses Martin of failing him. In an effort to make up for this, Martin commits himself to aiding a child named Cole Sear, who is struggling with similar issues. To make matters worse, Cole claims that he can see dead people, and that the visits from these ghosts add to his mental anguish. Martin is initially skeptical, but as progressively strange things continue to happen, he soon accepts that this gift is real and is more relevant to his own life than he initially thought.
So this is one of M. Night Shyamalan's earliest and arguably best films, so I'm a Sign stan myself. Regardless, this movie is very well made as a drama. You immediately identify with both Dr. Crowe and Cole, and sympathize with both of their stories. Now, the acting is your typical Shyamalan acting, awkward dialogue, stilted delivery, long monologues about random things, but you know what? It actually kind of fits with this type of movie, where characters are at their emotional low points and are going to dump all of their thoughts out to the people around them. Now, as for the ghosts, while their appearances are initially startling and there are a few jump scares, they aren't really all that scary. Probably because, rather than being malevolent, they're coming to Cole for help. Now, I would have liked at least one evil spirit to add some excitement and a bit more horror to the film, but that's just my personal preference. As is, this is a great and compelling supernatural drama.
From a horror sense, this movie can fall a bit short. Granted, some of the ghosts Cole sees are a little creepy, but nothing too overly scary. However, as a psychological thriller or mystery, this one knocks it out of the park.
Number 4, Silence of the Lambs. Rookie FBI agent Clarice Starling is tasked with interviewing cannibalistic killer Dr. Hannibal Lecter, as he may have information leading to the capture of Buffalo Bill, another killer with a proclivity for skinning his victims. Bill has kidnapped a senator's daughter, making the situation that much more urgent. Of course, Hannibal makes a game out of the interaction, passing Clarice information through clues and cryptic hints. As time runs out, Clarice has to find a way to decipher Hannibal's clues and save Buffalo Bill's hostage before it is too late.
This is one of those classic horror films I had never seen before, and honestly didn't know a lot about. I went into this rather blind, and I have to say that I was so impressed. The acting, story, and suspense were all fantastic. The psychological aspect here was strong and showed us the value of human connection and perspective. I really like how, though Hannibal is obviously a villain, he also was helping our protagonist throughout to catch someone who is still out there and is harming people. So it's almost like he's a good guy in certain ways. I also like how Clarice opens up to him and starts to actually trust him, and he confides in her as well. This film is so well done and kept my attention the entire time.
Fun fact, this is the only horror movie to ever win Best Picture at the Oscars. And watching it, you can see why. This is an excellent film. Though I must say, I do wish Hannibal was the main villain instead of Buffalo Bill. He's just so much more interesting and commands attention whenever he's on screen.
Number 3, Shutter Island. A U.S. Marshal named Teddy Daniels is sent to a psychiatric hospital located on a remote island to track down a patient who escaped recently. While on the island, Teddy becomes increasingly skeptical of the truth of the situation, believing the head doctor to be hiding a dark secret. At the end, Teddy realizes the true nature of what's going on is much deeper and more connected to his checkered past than he ever could have imagined.
I just noticed that a good number of these films involve mental asylums. Good place, I suppose, for psychological horror. This is a movie that really takes advantage of the setting, making you feel as though you're losing your mind with the excellent twists and turns that keeps you guessing what's real. Now, I knew part of the final reveal at the end, but not the whole story, and so the exact way it played out caught me off guard. Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo play their parts well in the film, as do the surrounding supporting cast. This is a movie I'd happily watch again, and keep an eye out for the breadcrumbs they leave along the way.
This, like The Sixth Sense, isn't particularly scary, but it is disturbing, especially as a parent. If you know, you know. If you have never had the pleasure of viewing this film, please do. Even if you know the twist, I promise it is still worth the watch.
Number 2, American Psycho. A bored investment banker named Patrick Bateman decides to spice up his life by leading a second life as a serial killer, luring victims to his apartment and then murdering them in horrific ways. At first, Patrick seems untouchable and always manages to get away scot-free. However, when a very persistent detective begins searching for his most recent victim, Patrick's mental state starts declining and he starts getting sloppy with his murders. As he spirals down further and further, Patrick's life and both of his careers may meet an early end.
The beginning of this film drags on for an eternity, and I felt like I was never going to get to anything good. But I was wrong. Push past the somewhat slow beginning, and I promise it is worth it. Wow, this film messes with your head. The ambiguity, twist, subtle hints, and an unreliable narrator all work together to create a truly horrifying and graphic psychological horror that every fan of the genre should see.
This is one of those rare films that presents a villain protagonist that you truly can't root for. He's a terrible human being with no redeeming qualities, yet in a way he's strangely charismatic. I mean, you want the guy to get caught, but at the same time, you also kinda don't. In any event, this is a mind-bending thriller that, by the end, will have you questioning everything you just saw.
Number 1, Misery. When a famous writer named Paul Sheldon crashes his car during a blizzard, his number 1 fan, Annie Wilkes, finds him and nurses him back to health. All seems well until Paul starts to get suspicious of Annie's intentions. Annie has wild mood swings and cares a little too much about the characters Paul has created, coming completely unhinged when she reads that he killed off the main character in his latest novel. She keeps finding increasingly disturbing ways to keep Paul held hostage in her home, and Paul starts to wonder if he will ever make it out alive.
It really doesn't pay to be a writer in a Stephen King story. They always manage to get themselves into trouble. While Misery is one of his more grounded works, the peril Paul finds himself in is no less scary. Being trapped in a remote cabin with an insane fan isn't ideal, and is exacerbated by Kathy Bates' delightfully unhinged performance as Annie. She brings a sense of fear to the character as she can go from sweet and friendly to raving and psychotic in a matter of seconds. All throughout the movie, you're wondering how or if Paul is going to escape, especially as he keeps suffering worse and worse setbacks each time. Safe to say, by it being our number 1 spot, this movie is great. It's tense, well acted, and keeps you guessing at every moment.
This is a classic horror staple based on the novel by Stephen King, and it does not get much better than a good old Misery viewing on a cold winter day.
Well, we did it. We completed the list, and you know what? I'm feeling something now.
Thirsty?
Yes, thank you. But I'm also feeling a revelation. I did feed Sister to the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not dead. I'm in a psychiatrist's office right now. I did do it. I guess completing the list was just what I needed to break out of that delusion.
Marvelous work, Normal Bro. I'm so proud of you. Now, work towards further treatment and consider this delusion water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. Water. 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 Bridge. Bridge. Under. Under. The.
Water! Every time I took a swig of water, I'd return to this doctor's office. You put a potion in my water to make me hallucinate, didn't you, Scary Sis?
Yes, you caught me.
But why?
Why else? Because I was bored and wanted to mess with you by giving you an existential crisis.
Fair enough. And honestly, if I thought of it first, I would have done it to you.
I know you would. So, those were our picks for the top 10 psychological horror films. Did you agree or disagree with our picks? Please let us know in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Until then, I am Scary Bro.
And I am Scary Sis, and we are
the Scary Sibs. So, one thing I don't understand is, how did you control my illusion? Like, how did you know what I would see?
Oh, Psychic Sue from the graveyard has been teaching me about thought manipulation. Turns out, gaslighting and trickery were some of her favorite hobbies. Didn't even have to pay her anything. All I said was, hey, I'm trying to drive Scary Bro crazy, and she jumped on the opportunity. I guess we are truly unlikable.
Yeah, that tracks.